I know if I'm to take a statistics, if I say who likes stress here, virtually everybody will say they don't like stress. However, I've just come to realize that stress is what keeps life going. There are two kinds of stress. There's what I will call productive and non-productive stress. And I will explain in a few minutes the difference between the two, so that when we are talking of stress, we will have a clearer perspective. Now, every man was born one day. And when you look at the process of birth, you were actually born by stress. Your mother was stressed in the labor room, pushing you out, and you yourself were moved from the comfort of the womb, where everything was serene and quiet, into a world, and your entrance into this world was through stress. Your head underwent a lot of pressure and pressing, and you had to squeeze through a very small canal to come out, and your whole body, went through that stress. And that is why when a child is born, the first thing you hear is wah, wah. The child begins to cry because of the stress it went through to come into this world. But this kind of stress is called productive stress, because we can see that the stress produced life. The stress produced something that was productive, something that was worth celebrating. And I always tell people that you cannot celebrate without stress. So those kind of stresses, the stresses that you go through that will lead to celebration, I call it productive stress. So that I always tell people, I said, embrace productive stress. Stress in itself is not bad, but the stress you go through, that at the end of the day you have nothing to show, I think that's what I'll call bad stress. But embrace stress. Know that stress is part of life. Stress is what gives vibes and beauty to life. So we don't need to run away from stress. We don't need to hate stress. In short, I would say like productive stress. Every athlete goes through training. A training is quite stressful. I know athletes, some of them wake up 4 a.m. They have to run 2 to 3 kilometers every day. But I call it productive stress because at the end of the day, if he goes through that stress and he goes for a tournament or a champion and he wins the gold medal, you will see that stress that he embraced has produced something fruitful, something productive. And this is really the crux of the matter. Especially, I want to also use this opportunity to speak to our young people. The young part of your life, or when you are young, is the time to actually go through stress. For a young man to be running away from stress, that young man is heading towards poverty, or a young woman. Stress is what makes the great. And if you want to be among the great, then you have to be ready for stress. But however, this stress should be the productive kind of stress. There are a lot of people that run away from the rigor of training, the rigor of academic stress, that are regretting till today. That thing they call stress. The stress they are going through for not going through productive stress is 10 times more than the stress they would have gone through, that would have made them achieve more, that would have made them to reach their highest potential. But they ran away from it, and a bigger stress was waiting for them. A lot of people say, oh, they don't like prayers. Oh, they don't like study of the word. Oh, they don't like fasting. Oh, they don't like practicing the word of God. It seems as if spiritual things is all about. They are also stressful. They all look very difficult. And many people try to dodge these things. But I always tell people, at the end of the day, when you dodge this productive stress, the stress that awaits you, sickness, poverty, shame and ignominy, disgrace, and all the likes, going to prison, being a drug addict, those things are going to be they are more stressful than whatever productive stress you would have gone through by going through these spiritual exercises. So please, I want us to embrace productive stress so that we can escape destructive stress.